Another start by Kade Horton and another delivery from Kade Horton. He's been one of the best pitchers, not just as a rookie, but one of the best pitchers in baseball since the All-Star break. We're going to get into that. Cubs get a great start, and then the bullpen blows it again. But the Tuckerless Cubs unable to score. So all that stuff we'll be talking about as well. So we'll do that. Cubs do get a little closer to the postseason. They signed some players, a lot going on. We'll talk all about that right here on the Cubs Baseball channel, including one of their top prospects on the move. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Let's get the party started. Let's go. All right, we got a show for you guys tonight, and I don't have enough time to make fun of the Cardinals tonight. We just have too much to talk about, so we'll get back to them on another day. But let's start with this. Kade Horton delivers again for the Cubs, and again they pull him out after 5 innings, right? So he qualified for the start. The Cubs bullpen came in, and you know what happened after that. They blew it again, end up losing 5-1. But let's get back to Kade Horton and what he has been able to accomplish so far. So he's 6-1 since the All-Star break, and he's got an earned run average under 1. He's kind of putting up stats now that mirrored Jake Arrieta and what he did, former Cy Young Award winner and also World Series champion with the Cubs. I mean, Kade Horton kind of doing a lot of that same stuff where you're starting to put those guys comparisons head to head. I went on and found a video of me talking about Horton before he was in the major leagues, because I just wanted to throw that up there on the channel just to say, hey, guess what? I knew he was going to be good. I didn't realize it was going to happen this fast, but I knew that coming into the season, he was the best pitching prospect since Mark Pryor and Kerry Wood. And he, in some ways, is even doing better than those guys, but he's on that same ilk, and it's exciting to watch the way that he's been able to kind of put things together. So Rookie of the Year is definitely within his grasp. And so after another 5-inning shutout start, I pulled up the DraftKings to see what the current odds are. And right now he is the favorite at -115. And then Drake Baldwin of the Braves, you've seen him this series, +160. So that's a pretty close neck and neck race. Matt Shaw's in the conversation at plus 7,500. Same with Agustin Ramirez, Isaac Collins at plus 550 is a guy to keep an eye on. So Matt Shaw's in the conversation, but I feel like this is Kade Horton versus Drake Baldwin the rest of the way. And I think if Horton just continues to do what he's done, I mean, it may be 3 or 4 more starts, I think he's going to win. I think the long streak without giving up the runs is going to help him a ton. I think when the people that look at this start to look at the season that he's had, the significance that he's had to the Cubs rotation, and how tough that position is. I mean, it's hard to have to get young guys that can come in and immediately make an impact as a starter. But I feel like all of those things together are going to make him someone that will, if he can continue what he's doing, eventually be the Rookie of the Year. And it's exciting to watch. Guys, I want to tell you this right now before we talk about a bunch of other stuff on the show is we are going to be giving away some cool stuff. Today met with the people that are going to be making the Cubs baseball channel gear. So we're doing hats and we're doing shirts. So it's pretty fun, like getting all this stuff ordered. I mean, it's happening. And then we're also giving away playoff tickets. But there's our right there it is, right by the microphone. There's our QR code to Mick Nation. That's where you can go and sign up. It's all free. We have interactive games on there. We're going to keep those updated. We keep standings too, you know, how successful you are. I mean, do you think the Cubs are going to win? Do you think we're going to lose? Anything I'm involved in, it's all part of this. And I'm going to keep that up there for you guys. But again, I want to get you to implore you to go and be part of it and have an interactive good time. All right. We talked about the Cubs bullpen blowing the game. How about this? The Tuckerless Cubs score 1 run, and it was like watching this team start to come together again. Kyle Tucker was in the middle of that. Owen Casey came. There was some pressure. Felt like, hey, if it ain't going to be you, it's going to be him. And then Tucker started playing and playing back to the capability of him. Now, he had the left the game early a couple of days ago, and then off, and then an off day today. And, we wonder, like, what's going to happen next? Is he going to, with this calf, going to be able to continue, or is it something that's going to cost him some time? I feel like with the Cubs, at least Owen Casey's someone that can help you. I'd have no problems right now with having Owen Casey in the lineup until Tucker's back and ready to go. I would rather have Tucker healthy for the postseason than trying to push it right now and not be ready to go when the games really matter, because the Cubs are cruising in on a playoff berth. They have the best record of the wild card teams, and thanks to the Reds losing, Cubs magic number is now down to 13. So even though the Cubs lost, they still pick up 1 in the magic number department because the Reds lost. So the Cubs 13 magic number away from clinching a playoff spot, and again, still the number 1 team when it comes to the wild card, which means they would host. Now, this was some big news, I guess. Pitching prospect Jaxon Wiggins promoted to Iowa today, and there was some buzz about this. I guess what I want to say is he doesn't really pitch enough to create too much buzz. Now, I'm a big believer in his, and I think he's going to be a very successful pitcher if he stays healthy. And that's been his Achilles heel is, the 3 Tommy John surgeries. And the Cubs have put him under load management where they basically have slowed his season way down. He's a 6'6" right-hander that throws gas. This season's been definitely a step forward for him, because not only has he been throwing hard, but he's been accurate. He's gotten a lot better with his control and command. It's not like he's just a 23-year-old out there throwing fastballs. I mean, he can work it around the zone. He's got his secondary pitches working. He didn't pitch a whole lot after the June 20th. I mean, we saw him a couple of times, but when he would come into the game, he was dominant, and he probably needs to pitch in AAA some. The other thing I would think for him and for the Cubs is it's a shame that we don't know what he would look like in the major leagues, because I think out of the bullpen this year, he could help the Cubs right now. I think he's that good, but you don't want to devalue him either, right? And what I mean by that is the premium values as a starter. And there's a lot of people that feel like he's going to be a starter in the Cubs rotation next year. So if the load management thing helps him get to, be a starter in the rotation for the Cubs next year, he could be next year's Kade Horton. He's not the same type of pitcher to me. I mean, he's a power guy, but he's definitely got some great stuff. I'm curious to see, how that fastball works in the major leagues with better hitters. I don't think he's got – I think Kade Horton's really, really, really special, but I think this guy is too in his own way. I would say, maybe like a 3 or a 4 in the rotation type of guy. And, who knows? I mean, he's made such a huge jump this year with his control and command. Maybe the Cubs have something else even bigger with Jaxon Wiggins. And I was surprised he didn't get traded at the deadline. I really thought he was going to go, but they decided to keep him, and I think that could help the Cubs long term. Now, talking about pitching, start with this right here. Michael Soroka returning sometime soon, right? This was the guy that the Cubs made the trade for at the deadline. And then they get the guy, and he pitches 2 innings, and he's hurt. And so the good news is that he threw a live bullpen yesterday, 34 pitches, and came out healthy. Velocity was back up into the mid-90s. And before the injury, it kind of dipped a little bit. And so they feel like he's kind of closing in on being able to return sometime really soon. And I was curious to know if he'd ever pitch for the Cubs, because, you start to do the math, and if the stuff wasn't good enough, where are you going to put him? So apparently all that stuff checked out. 34 pitches. I mean, maybe like, in a couple weeks you'd have him ready. But how good is he? You know what I mean? Like, how good is he? I mean, is he a guy that you would use in the rotation? I still think, because the season's kind of winding down, that I'm curious to see if he pitches at all. I'll just leave it at that. But hopefully he's someone that the Cubs will be able to get something out of, since they traded for him. Now, another guy that was interesting that the Cubs signed was left-hander Austin Gomber, Gomber. And this is a guy that, you remember probably from his Cardinals days. And not only did they sign a left-hander, they've done a lot of this. They've gone out and they've tried to find as many left-handed veterans as that they can, and hope that he is able to go out there and get something done. He pitched this week for Iowa, and he threw 5 scoreless innings, 60 pitches, 2 hits, a walk, and struck out 5, right? So he's a 31-year-old. He was part of that Nolan Arenado trade, went to Coors Field, and then, of course, a lot of great pitching careers don't go too well with the Rockies. That was kind of what happened. So he's kind of hoping to find himself. And the Cubs are kind of looking at it this way, thinking, hey, maybe we can find a diamond in the rough here, and we get somebody that can then jump in and help us from the left side, because we need some left-handed arms. So anyway, that one was kind of one that slid under the table. And then, talking about sliding, how about this? Speedster Billy Hamilton's back. I've always liked Billy Hamilton. He was with the Cubs for a cup of coffee in 2020. Billy Hamilton, I remember him as a minor leaguer, and this guy was absolutely unbelievable. In 2011, he stole 103 bases, and then in 2012, he stole 155 bases, which was just incredible. Where has he been? Last we saw him, he was with the White Sox in 2023, and didn't stay there very long. And then he went off to Mexico, and he's been playing in the Mexican League. Cubs sign him, looking at this as an opportunity to add maybe a speedster that can help them in the postseason. He's a base stealing fiend. One of the best, base stealers out there. The problem for him has always just been getting on base. But 326 steals in his 11-year major league career. And at all levels, he's got 850 steals. When you talk about majors, minors, foreign, other, so the guy's got something in his ability to run. And we'll see kind of how this works out. Will he be a guy that gets a chance to play in the major leagues? He's certainly an insurance policy. So Billy Hamilton joins the Cubs, and that was interesting to me. All right, thank you guys for hanging out. Please like and subscribe. Go Cubs, go! That's what it means when you hit that right there. We will do it again tomorrow. The QR code's down there as well. And I want you guys to just get in there, and if you haven't already, sign up, have fun. It's a good way to stay connected with everyone, and it's an off day, And the way that things are going, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not an eventful off day. So we'll keep an eye out for everything that's going on. But thanks for being here, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. And look, the Cubs could be 12 in the magic number category without even playing. Isn't that interesting? It's funny how this stuff works this time of year. And it's nice to be on this side of it, where we're counting the days down instead of having to make up ground. All right. Thank you.